Greetings, your polite savages, and welcome to another Tip Talk. By now, we have all heard the drama, the pomp, and the circumstances regarding the Just Pearly Things podcast and the subsequent fallout from controversial statements made when she was interviewing self-proclaimed racist Nick Fuentes. I have to keep it real with you in a buck. I was not going to cover anything about this story for this simple reason. If her statements aren't enough to make you not listen to her, then nothing I can say is going to make you do it. And I do not care to argue with people who already have their minds made up. And I think that I could tell it on a mountain and no one's going to care what I have to say. So what changed my mind is the story of Sarah Garvey. So basically, if you don't know, Sarah Garvey came out and said that Pearl had a colonizer mindset, that he was just a contractor, but he did help her build her presence in London, which I have to admit, I watched the Just Pearly Things podcast because Sarah was part of it. And it seemed like they had a great working relationship. They kept going, but I noticed in the last few months, he hadn't been a part of it, maybe popping up here and there. And then after the Nick Fuentes podcast, he made a statement saying that he felt like her apology was, for a lack of a better word, unapologetic and insincere, and that she had a colonizer mindset. He also alluded to some type of 360 deals or something to that equation that she had her other talent side to. She wanted him to sign a deal like that where she would get 70% of the assets from his platform that he recorded in her studio, and that also that this deal would last 3 years. Of course, he said that he would reject that deal and move on. Now, I think that is totally logical that somebody would have to reject a deal. I can personally say I've never made a deal, negotiations that's fallen through a in public. I did find it kind of odd, and it did lead me to believe a little less of what he was speaking of, especially the pseudo eyes wide shut party at the end of the night, where I guess he said Pearl had people act out some sexual charades on the board, and he said that her manager from the Daily Wire was filming everything. I have to say, I keep it real, I didn't know what to feel about that story. I was curious what Sarah's take was because I've been a fan of his. And when he came out and said it, I'm going to say I was about 60% leaning towards that can't all be true. A lot of things happen in negotiations. One of the negotiation tactics is to tell you something that everyone else is getting, but you're under no obligation to actually follow through with what they're getting. Meaning that Mr. Garvey, they could have told him, hey, they get 70-30, but they could have told him, hey, Mr. Garvey gets 70-30 and they're getting 50-50. Who knows? Only thing I'm saying that when negotiating, there's not always open and fair and honest negotiations, but let's get to the crux of the story. As I said, I did not want to be involved in the story, but apparently the Just Pearly Things platform has struck down with copyright strikes 5 items on Sarah Garvey's platform, meaning that they're trying to get his channel up out of here.
What Just Pearly Things did was a low down, dirty move that with any YouTuber in the space, any content creator knows that's one thing you should not be violating and abusing is the copyright strike system. I would have thought that Just Pearly Things would have learned a lesson with Fresh and Fit doing their copyright strikes. But no, she took the exact same playbook, just like Fresh and Fit. When you go beyond the manosphere and the relationship space, YouTube is a gigantic beast. So when a YouTube content creator in the YouTube community goes and abuses the system, it is looked down upon. It's so hypocritical when you are a content creator participating in the men's content space. And this goes to male content creators too, to act out in pure emotion and attempt to take someone's channel down because you do not agree what they say. And this is a lesson to all content creators. If you are going to be working with anyone else in the sphere, collaborating, ensure that the content you create on their channel is not replicated exactly on your channel. Now with Sarah Garvey's case, I don't know exactly how he used his content, but from what I hear from Grover is that Sarah Garvey is in the video with his likeness, his image, his talking points, him speaking on the video, so that there is a case for Sarah Garvey being able to fight against these attacks.
Why am I upset about this? Well, let's keep it a buck. Pearl, you can't have it both ways. You can't say you're for freedom of speech, but then want to limit speech. You can't say that people like Andrew Tate, Sneeko, who was deplatformed, Nick Fuentes, who was deplatformed. All of these folks are deplatformed because of the Matrix. The Matrix is coming after you, that you're being limited, and then turn around and do the same thing for someone else just because you don't agree with them and you feel like they made a hit piece on you. That is categorically wrong. We all know that if Sarah Garvey had any, and I repeat, any of the items of your platform on his platform, that it was used by permission, especially the items that was there since September. He was a guest on your platform for months. I'm sure you knew. And if you were trying to sign him 10 days ago, then why would it make a difference what he had on a platform? You were okay with it then.
But any other content creators using her content to make commentary about, transforming that content, cutting it up and making it originally your own, most likely you will have fair use on your side. Now it goes case by case basis. So if she goes out of her way to strike down other channels like Fresh and Fit, then you will have grounds to stand on against her, because what she is doing is she is jeopardizing her channel, jeopardizing her employees and her contractors that work for her. All content creators that we must be aware not to use the same video from other content creators that we've collaborated with, because it shows if Just Pearly Things can do this, then any other content creator that feels slighted by you will attack your channel for using their content even though you're in that content. It is an overall dirty move that Just Pearly Things did by launching these attacks, and it's very hypocritical for many people that have gone after Fresh and Fit, have not voiced or given their voice about this situation when they were the ones to be speaking out against Fresh and Fit.
It's just obvious that this is kind of a temper tantrum. It's a rich girl temper tantrum and you're going after somebody, but that's okay. That's just what people do. You see, I want to quote the security boss when she said it's kind of hard for you to expect somebody to react like you when they're not you. See, Pearl's not going to react under circumstances for somebody who maybe had to build something and maybe didn't have anything or have nothing to fall back on, because she's always had something to fall back on. In that circumstance, she's just going to look and smirk it off and say all is fair in love and war. But I will say this to all of her supporters. If you're a content creator and you support Pearl, but you lambasted Fresh and Fit for doing the same thing that I've been preached, the lead attorney, Playback, and dozens of other content creators, you're a hypocrite.
Beyond being an entertainer, beyond being an advocate and promoter of the creator economy, I really wonder what is the core belief of Just Pearly Things, because she said that she is an entertainer. But when it comes down to it, I put my entertainment hat on. We create entertaining videos because we know that's how we get the eyes and the attention of you and other people. But down to my core belief. My core belief is a holistic development of the individual. Just Pearly Things is still young. There's still things that she needs to develop within herself. We want people to improve. We want men to improve. We want to create content that promotes our interests to combat against the out of control modern woman, fourth wave feminism, woke ideology. And it seems to me that Just Pearly Things, with her actions, is showing how much she seems to be vibing with the modern woman, fourth wave feminism, woke ideology, exerting and imposing her will, her clout, her audience against any other YouTuber, content creator that stands in her way, that is being critical against her. Copyright striking a channel, abusing that system is not the way to go. And by doing so, just like Fresh and Fit, I know where you stand. I vehemently disagree with it. I stand against any YouTubers that attempt to take out other people's channels because they have a difference of opinion or a falling out. That to me is wrong. And if you do not see the issue in that, then I respect your opinion. And I'm talking to you, the audience. Copyright striking another channel is bad energy. Take accountability and redeem yourself. We'll see what Just Pearly Things does next.
That's all I got for you, you polite savages. Like and subscribe, hit us up on all social media networks. Any suggestions for things that you want us to cover, drop it on the gram, THPP Network, especially from our members. Our TipTube membership is very affordable. It's like a cup of coffee. And as always, ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? We're out. This is the Happiness Podcast. I'm Grover.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. I'm Scotty.
This motherfucker right here, boy. Leave your comments and like and subscribe on YouTube. Booty in your face. We found true happiness.